Guys, UFC Baku, Azerbaijan, Manuel Torres, Rafael Fiziev. Fight night is this weekend, this Saturday night. I'm here, James Keller MMA, giving you guys the full card prediction, breaking down each and every fight before they even happen. And guys, this is a good fight night for Azerbaijan. They always seem to come with a decently stacked fight night with decently stacked matchups. And this is a good one. This is a decent one, you know. Main evented by Rafael Fiziev versus Manuel Torres. A decent matchup in the lightweight division. We're going to be predicting the entire card, starting with the first fight of the night, working our way all the way to the main event, starting with the first fight. Both these dudes don't even have a fucking picture. Tahir, Abdullayev versus Jefferson Nascimento. Both these dudes are making their UFC debut. Tahir Abdullayev is the Azerbaijani fighter. He's coming out of Azerbaijan. I think he's like 21-3. Jefferson Nascimento is 13-0. He's fighting out of Brazil. And I'm picking Jefferson Nascimento. I think Jefferson Nascimento will go out there and get the finish just because Jefferson has been fighting in LFA. Tahir Abdullayev has been fighting in these regional promotions in Azerbaijan, so we're not too sure the level of competition this dude's been facing. We're not sure the level of competition Jefferson Nascimento's been facing either, but at least in LFA, we know that they got some level. They're at least at some level, and I respect that more than some random promotion I never even heard of. So I'm taking Jefferson Nascimento. I feel like he'll go out there, get a finish. Out of his 13 wins, he does have 8 finishes. I feel like Jefferson Nascimento is going to win this fight, though. I think that he'll go out there, get an early finish. Tahir Abdullayev is one of these Azerbaijani fighters making his debut. We got a couple of them. And I think it's going to be a little too much. I think he's going to be facing a tough task in the undefeated Brazilian Jefferson Nascimento. Jefferson's good wherever this fight goes. And I see him getting a first-round submission win. All right, guys, moving on to our next fight. We got Bekzat Almakhan versus Jan Matsumoto. Now, both these dudes have faced some tough competition inside the bantamweight division. Bekzat Almakhan had faced Umar Nurmagomedov in his UFC debut, and he's recently coming off of that loss to Alexander Topuria. So, has faced some tough relatives in the sport. Jan Matsumoto faced some tough guys like Rob Font, Farhad Basharat, So, both these dudes face some tough guys. I'm picking Jan Matsumoto. The reason I am is because in his losses, he is 17-2. Coming off that loss to Farhad Basharat. Even in those losses, they were split decision losses on the judges' scorecard. So he still showed that he can compete with these guys. He has great striking, has decent jiu-jitsu, has, the ability to avoid the big shots. While as in Bekzat Almakhan, in those losses against Alexander Topuria, he got dominated. And Umar Nurmagomedov, I know he dropped him in his UFC debut, but after that, man, he just got dominated. And maybe they're a tougher level than Rob Font and Farhad Basharat. I just feel like Bekzat Almakhan is gonna be a little bit behind in this fight. I feel like Jan Matsumoto is gonna be better in the striking. He might have a little bit of a disadvantage in the grappling, but he definitely has the ability to not get held on the ground and get back up, use his own defensive grappling to keep this fight on the feet. And I feel like he's going to be a little bit too much for Bekzat Almakhan on the feet. I'm taking Jan Matsumoto by unanimous decision. Moving on to our next fight. Daniil Donchenko versus Theodor Berggren. As you see, this dude don't even got a picture either. No stats. Making his UFC debut. And he's coming in there against Daniil Donchenko. Donchenko? I think I'm saying that right. A top, blue chip prospect in the welterweight division. A dude that could be a top contender sometime soon. 14-2 as a pro. I think that Theodor is like a plus 385 underdog, which he should be. He should be. If he pulls off this win, it's a tough debut, man. Daniil Donchenko has shown that he can compete. You know, he's good. He's good. He not only can he compete, he might be a contender, a rising contender sometime soon. And Theodor Berggren, good luck, bro. This is your debut, bro. Tough mountain to climb. If he wins, this will be a big upset. You know, a plus whatever 380 upset. And you know, I think that Daniil Donchenko will have easy work in this fight. I think that this will be an easy first round TKO for our boy. He might have some issues. We've seen before when these random dudes come in there and give some problems to a contender that we haven't really seen tested yet. So we might see Daniil Donchenko tested, but you know, I think that Daniil has all the tools ready to face a guy like this. And I'm taking Daniil Donchenko by round 1 TKO. All right, moving on to our next fight. We got Kaan, Ofli versus Javier Reyes. Kaan, Ofli, you know, has shown he's coming off of a win, but he's shown that he's, you know, kind of had a tough run inside the UFC. He's 2-2 inside the promotion. Javier Reyes is coming off of that knockout win, that TKO win over Douglas Silva de Andrade, where that was his debut. And in that fight, he got hurt bad. He got hurt. He almost got finished. Withstood some shots, withstood some adversity, came back and found the late round 1 TKO finish. And yeah, I'm taking Javier Reyes. I think that Javier Reyes, I know that he has not the best striking defense. He's kind of looking to knock you out. He's looking to land big shots, and he leaves his hands down, and he leaves himself open to get hit. I don't think Kaan Ofli is the kind of dude to capitalize on that. I think Javier Reyes is a proven finisher. He's out of his 23 wins, I think he's finished 19 of them. So I think Javier Reyes will go in there and find the finish like he does. Like I said, Kaan Ofli, 2-2 inside the UFC. He's kind of struggled. I feel like he's either not on the UFC level or right on the cusp. And Javier Reyes is on a different point. I know they're a similar age. I think that maybe Javier Reyes might even be older, but he's just getting into the UFC at a different point in his career. I mean, later on in his career, I should say. And I think that Javier Reyes and Kaan Ofli are at different points in their career. I think Javier Reyes, coming off his KO win in his debut, I think that he's going to keep riding that momentum. And I think Kaan Ofli kind of has shown that he's might not be on that level. So yeah, I'm taking Javier Reyes by round 1 TKO. I think that he's going to find a big shot and finish Kaan Ofli. All right, moving on to our next fight. We got Nursulton Ruziboev versus Andrey Pulyaev. Now, heading in there, Nursulton Ruziboev is a sizable favorite. I'm pretty sure he's a minus 200 favorite, which I understand why he might be a favorite. He is 36-9. He does have 45 professional fights. His only loss in the UFC is to Joaquin Buckley. But Andrey Pulyaev is a gangster, dude. Is a gamer, okay? He's going to go in there, and I feel like he's going to give Nursulton problems. The big thing about Nursulton Ruziboev is he's massive. He's huge. He's always got the range advantage. He's 6'5". But the thing is, Andrey Pulyaev is massive as well. He's 6'4". He has the range advantage actually in this fight. I think he has a 78-inch reach, and I think Nursulton has a 76-inch reach. Yeah, it says 78.5 and 76. So I think Andrey Pulyaev is going to give him problems. I think that Andrey Pulyaev has faced the tougher competition, even though Nursulton Ruziboev might have faced more guys inside the UFC. He does have that loss to Joaquin Buckley. I think Andrey Pulyaev has faced tougher guys in Abdullayev Gutierrez and Christian Leroy Duncan. And I feel like, in that loss to Joaquin Buckley, Nursulton Ruziboev showed that if you're a big power puncher, if you're getting in his face, throwing big shots, making him feel uncomfortable, he struggles. He struggles. He seems to crumble. He seems to, get lower than that 6'5". And even in this fight, it's not even going to be that big of an advantage, him being 6'5", because Andrey Pulyaev is 6'4". He's big as well. He's coming off that loss to Abdullayev Gutierrez. I think he's going to go in there and put on a great performance. I think he's going to look great wherever this fight goes. Even if Nursulton Ruziboev goes in there and tries to use some of his grappling to take him down, I think Andrey Pulyaev will look great on the ground. I think that he'll be able to get back up, keep this fight on the feet. I'm taking Andrey Pulyaev by... I'm not going to take it by finish just because I do respect Nursulton Ruziboev, but I think that he's going to win this fight. I think that as this fight goes on, he's going to build into it. Maybe he loses the first round, but round 2, round 3, he's going to build. And I feel like it's going to be the opposite for Nursulton Ruziboev. I feel like as this fight goes on, he's going to fade more and more. He is the older fighter at 32 years old. Andrey Pulyaev is only 28, younger in his career. And listen, being 10-3, I feel like, having those little amount of fights compared to the 36-9-2, like that is a lot of experience, but that is just miles on the odometer, all right? That is just wear and tear on the old tires. Like that is a lot of times to be inside the cage, and I feel like that's going to start to add up, bro. Being 32 years old, I know that's not that old, but having 45 professional fights at the age of 32, being in a heavier weight class like middleweight, being a bigger guy, I feel like that's all going to add up, I feel like Andrey Pulyaev... Sorry about that. But yeah, I just think Andrey Pulyaev is going to be a little bit better. He's going to put on a good performance and get the unanimous decision win. Moving on to our next fight. Abdul Rakhman Yakhyaev versus Julius Walker. Man. Abdul Rakhman Yakhyaev 9-0. Julius Walker 7-2. Julius Walker, not the best. Coming off of a loss, shown that, doesn't have the best chin. Abdul Rakhman Yakhyaev has shown that, man, he's good. This dude's undefeated 9-0. 2-0 inside the UFC. 2 quick first-round finishes. I see him doing the exact same thing to Julius Walker. I see him going in there, getting him down early in round 1 and finding the submission. I really don't know why they made this matchup kind of a odd matchup, in the light heavyweight division. But yeah, I think that Abdul Rakhman Yakhyaev will have an easy win, have no problems going in there and doing exactly what he's done to his first 2 opponents inside the UFC. I feel like his first 2 opponents might be better than Julius Walker, but yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I don't even know what I feel like. But yeah, Abdul Rakhman Yakhyaev, round 1 submission, hammer it. It's an easy lock. All right, coming on to the feature fight of the prelims, we got Farman Hasanov versus Eric Nolan. This dude don't even got a picture. This is another one of these Azerbaijani debuting fighters. And guys, this dude is actually only 5-0. 5-0 as a professional. 5-0, 2-0 as an amateur. Farman taking on Eric Nolan. Eric Nolan is coming off of that loss to Bansur Sursurkayev, where he took the fight on 10 days' notice and lost. But in that fight, he caught Bansur, He cracked him that one time. Didn't look bad in that fight. I think that Eric Nolan's going to be looking to come in there and have a bounce-back win. Not only that, just more the fact that Farman is only 5-0. Only had 7 fights in his entire career, amateur and pro. I feel like this is just too much, man. Too much. Coming into the UFC, making his UFC debut against Eric Nolan. Eric Nolan's, has doubled the fights, more than double the fights as this man. Has faced tougher competition. Has shown against tougher competition that he can hang. He can hang and he can ball in moments. But yeah, I think Eric Nolan's going to be looking to get back in the win column against a man like Farman. And I think that this is one of the Azerbaijani fighters that, is debuting, and it's a little bit too much. They try to get a lot of Azerbaijani fighters on the card. Because, they only go there once every couple years maybe. So you try and give the guys a shot. But I feel like this is a little bit too much for our boy Farman. I feel like Eric Nolan's gonna piece him up. Taking Eric Nolan by round 2 finish. Round 2 finish. Okay, guys, coming on to the first fight on the main card. A bus. This dude's literally fighting a bus, dude. A bus Magomedov versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. Now, honestly, a bus Magomedov is very good. Okay? He's great. All right? He's the best fighter in the world for 1 round. I feel like he's better than Michal Oleksiejczuk everywhere. The striking, the grappling, ability to finish the fight is all in favor of a bus Magomedov until it hits round 2. And as soon as it hits round 2, man, this dude, a bus Magomedov, just falls off a cliff, dude. Literally a bus off a cliff. Like, I don't know what happens. But in his fight against Joe Pyfer, had an amazing first round. Killer first round. Round 2 comes and just gets folded. Just crumbles. Same thing with Sean Strickland. Has a great first round. Beats the brakes off Sean Strickland. And then round 2 just gets folded. Crumbles. Like, it's a sad sight to see. And Michal Oleksiejczuk, he might not be the best, but he has at least 3 rounds in him. He has at least 3 solid, decent rounds in him. He's not going to have a major fall off heading into round 2. He's not going to have a major fall off heading into round 3. I feel like here's exactly how this fight's going to go. A bus, going to have a killer first round. Maybe even gets close to finishing Michal Oleksiejczuk in the first round, but doesn't. And then round 2 comes, he's gassed. Michal Oleksiejczuk finishes in round 2. That's my guess. That's my prediction. I could see a world where a bus Magomedov finishes in round 1. That is the only world where a bus is going to win. He has to get that round 1 finish because, dude, this dude probably has one of the worst cardios in the UFC. Worst gas tanks in the UFC. Literally 1 round in him. So, yeah, if he doesn't get that round 1 finish, Michal Oleksiejczuk is going to win. If he doesn't get that round 2 finish, Michal Oleksiejczuk I'm talking about, he's going to win the unanimous decision. So, I'm taking it by round 2 finish just because of that drastic drop-off a bus has. But, yeah, he could still win a decision even if a bus is able to withstand and keep himself in there. But, yeah, moving on to our next fight. Ikram Oleksiejczuk versus Bruno Ferreira. A lot like the last fight, Ikram Oleksiejczuk is better everywhere, in my opinion, than Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira is a good power puncher. He is coming off of that loss to RoboCop where he got knocked out. Bad, quick. I think it was under like 2 minutes. So he's looking to come back. He's looking to get a bounce back win. But Ikram Oleksiejczuk, I feel like, is a tough task to come back off of a knockout loss. You know, Ikram Oleksiejczuk, people have this preconceived notion that he is a chinny guy. And I do kind of believe that. I do kind of think that as well. But the only 2 knockout losses, as you see, 17-2, the only 2 losses he has, knockout losses, is to Khamzat on the regional scene where he got slept bad. That was bad. And then to Robert Whittaker, where he took that fight on short notice. And got slept bad. But both those knockout losses were against world champion level guys. So I feel like we should cut him a little bit of slack. I don't feel like Bruno Ferreira is going to be able to land the same shots that Khamzat and Rob Whittaker were able to land. If he is, though, he could definitely put out Ikram Oleksiejczuk. Like I said, Bruno Ferreira is a power puncher. He's got some big meaty hooks. That's the only way of success for Bruno Ferreira is to land a big knockout shot early on Ikram Oleksiejczuk. And if he doesn't, I see Ikram Oleksiejczuk dominating on the feet, dominating with his grappling, maybe getting him in the clinch, landing some good clinch shots, taking him down, looking for submissions. I see Ikram Oleksiejczuk getting the unanimous decision win. That's the way I see this fight playing out. I don't see Bruno Ferreira being able to land that knockout shot that he's going to be looking for. Like I said, I think Ikram Askarov's underrated. Besides those 2 knockout losses, he's looked amazing in his career. He's looked very, very good. And yeah, those 2 knockouts definitely are a big asterisk on his record. And I think he does lose to a tougher middleweight. But a guy like Bruno Ferreira, I don't think he's gonna have much problems. Bruno Ferreira isn't the best. His best win is RoboCop, and even in that win, he was losing. He was losing until he found that knockout, and then in the rematch, which he's coming off of, he got slept. So I'm taking Ikram Alaskarov by unanimous decision. Hammer it. Okay, moving on to our next fight, we got Asu Almakhan versus Charles Johnson. Now, I'm a big Charles Johnson fan. I feel like everybody is. Everyone's like, yo, he knocked out the champ, Joshua Van. Yeah, knocked out the champ, Joshua Van. Knocked out Loner Kavanaugh. Everyone talks about it. Dude's awesome. Got a cool haircut. They really fucked him, though, with this matchup against Asu Almakhan. Asu Almakhan is the most underrated fighter in the flyweight division. He definitely has the best grappling, if not top 3 grappling in the flyweight division. I feel like he does have the best since Mohamed Mokaev left. And, Charles Johnson, he's got good grappling defense, but in his fights against Cody Durden and his fights against Mohamed Mokaev, he's shown that he can get taken down. He can get controlled on the ground. In those fights, he did show that he has good submission defense. It's hard to finish him on the ground. I don't think that Asu Almakhan will finish him on the ground, but I think that Asu Almakhan will be able to take him there. And I think he'll be able to control him there for the majority of the fight. Even if Charles Johnson's able to defend the takedowns, I feel like Asu Almakhan is such a smart grappler. He'll be able to pick up on those reads and adjust and ultimately get this fight where he wants it to go. And the thing about Asu Almakhan is he can compete on the feet with anybody. He has decent striking. I don't think that he's going to have much problems against Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson definitely can knock out anybody, but I think Asu Almakhan is going to give him some trouble. Going to give him some problems, and I think that he's going to take him down, use his grappling to dominate this fight. I'm taking Asu Almakhan by unanimous decision. Okay, moving on to our next fight. Is this our feature fight? Yeah, this is the feature fight. Nazim Sadykhov versus Mateusz Camilo. Now, this is a close fight. Both these dudes are somewhat decent contenders in the lightweight division. Nazim Sadykhov is coming off that loss to Faris Siham, where, he kind of got dominated. He kind of lost every second of that fight, and then he got finished. Which, it's a bad loss in retrospect, but in retrospect, Faris Siham is a top lightweight. I think that he's going to have a rise in the lightweight division. He's ranked right now. And I think that Nazim Sadykhov will have a bounce back performance. I think that going in there against Mateusz Camilo, he'll go in there and look to, have a good bounce back performance, get a win back. Mateusz Camilo is decent. He did look decent in his last fight. He won against Vyacheslav Borslev. But before that, he did have a loss to Gabe Green, where in that fight, he's shown that he could get backed up. He could get backed up and he could get pressured and he could lose the fight that way. And I think Nazim Sadykhov is going to go in there and have a similar game plan. I hope that he has a similar game plan. I feel like he definitely has the ability and the grittiness to go in there and kind of cause a dogfight like that, get in the face of Mateusz Camilo, keep him on the back foot, throw big shots, and just make Mateusz Camilo uncomfortable and ultimately win the fight. I think Nazim Sadykhov is going to win this fight by unanimous decision. That's what I'm taking. Moving on to the co-main event, we got Shara Bullet Magomedov versus Michel Pereira. Shara Bullet Magomedov is coming off of that win to Marc-Andre Barriou. Before that, he suffered his only loss to MVP, which that was a good fight. Decent fight. And Michel Pereira is coming off of that win to Zach Reese, which, it's an all right win. Before that, Michel Pereira had that losing streak where I think he lost 3 in a row or 4 in a row to, I think he lost to a bus. He lost to Anthony Hernandez. So, yeah, this dude, Michel Pereira, I feel like Michel Pereira has kind of been on a decline in his career. In all of those losses, even in his win against Zach Reyes, man, he's shown that as the fight goes on, he just has a decline. As round 3 hits, he's nowhere to be seen. He's literally nowhere to be seen. Even in a win against Zach Reyes, where Zach Reyes was walking forward with his hands down, ready to be hit, Michel Pereira was just too tired. He couldn't even throw any punches. He couldn't even finish Zach Reyes. And a dude like Shara, Bullet Magomedov, Shara's too clean. Shara's too clean with the kicks, with the range. He's going to piece up Michel Pereira. He's going to land big body kicks, going to land big kicks to the legs. He's going to use his hands to tag up Michel Pereira. I think Michel Pereira is going to have a lot on his plate in this fight. And ultimately, I think he's going to get finished by round 2. I see a round 2 finish for Shara Magomedov. If not round 2, definitely round 3. I don't think Michel Pereira can hang with a dude like Shara Magomedov on the feet. I definitely think he's going to go in there and look for a quick round 1 knockout. That's the only way he's going to win this fight. But I think Shara Bullet's just too clean, man. Shara Bullet's too clean. He's too good. Even with one eye, I think he's gonna be too much. I think he's going to be too much. I think he's going to tag up Michel Pereira and ultimately find the finish. Using his body kicks, using his body shots to set up the finish. I'm taking Shara Bullet by round 2 TKO. Moving on to the main event. The main reason everybody's here. The main event. All right, guys. Damn, Fiziev, bro. Fiziev's looking good. Now, listen. This fight, very, very, very tricky. Very, very tricky to pick. You know, I've been flipping and flopping. Back and forth. I don't know who I'm going to choose. I mean, I know exactly who I'm going to choose. It's just, at first, I was picking one way, and then I flipped my pick now to another way. Heading in there, Rafael Fiziev, he is coming in there off of that roofie loss. He got sort of dominated on the feet by Roofy. Tagged up, pieced up, and sniped into the TKO finish. And Manuel Torres is coming off of a 2-fight finishing streak. Coming off of that finish against Grant Dawson. The only loss that he has inside the UFC is to Ignacio Bahamondes, where he got caught with that counter hook at the sphere, if you guys remember that. Excuse me. He got caught with that counter hook a couple times and put away at the sphere. Now, the only issue with this fight is Manuel Torres has 17 wins and 17 first-round finishes. Here's the thing. This dude has never seen a second round. I don't think ever. I don't think he's ever seen... Hold on, let me make sure that's right. Excuse me. He has 17 wins and I think 16 first-round finishes. Never seen a second round inside the UFC. Has finished all of his wins inside the UFC in the first round. This dude is a fucking killer. I don't know if you guys remember, he had that one nasty elbow knockout where he blasted that dude with an elbow. Boom! Stepping elbow in the apex and flatlined the dude. And the thing about Rafael Fiziev, he is a top tier striker in the lightweight division. The competition level is definitely different. They've been facing Rafael Fiziev. Like I said, he's coming off that Roofy loss. I think his last 5, he's faced Roofy, Justin Gaethje twice, Mateusz Gamrot, and I'm forgetting the last one. But he's been facing the toughest lightweights in the world and having success on the feet. He's shown that, he can compete with these top dudes. The only issue is he's coming off of that knockout loss, That knockout loss, his 2 fights with Justin Gaethje, it's just a lot of damage. I feel like both these dudes are at different points in their career. And coming back off of a bad TKO loss to fight a dude like Manuel Torres is a just a death sentence. That is just a death sentence, bro. That is a nightmare. I don't know who the Rafael pissed off at the UFC. I know Manuel Torres was supposed to fight Beneil Dariush, which was even crazier. But then Manuel had to pull out, and now he's fighting Rafael Fiziev. But man, Rafael Fiziev, to win this fight, he will have to be perfect for 5 rounds, and he'll have to use his range, use his leg kicks, use his body kicks to keep Manuel Torres off of him for at least 3 rounds. And if he could get into that 3rd round, I definitely see Rafael Fiziev having major success. Like I said, Manuel Torres hasn't seen a 2nd round inside the UFC. If Fiziev can survive those first couple rounds and drag it into a later fight, he could definitely have success. Rafael Fiziev has been in these 5-round fights inside the UFC. He's main evented fight nights before. Manuel Torres is the first time I think he's been 5 rounds. I just don't think it's going to go there, bro. I just really don't think it's going to go there. I don't think Manuel Torres is going to allow it to go there. I think he's going to finish this fight early. And I think that it's just a timing thing in both their careers. Like, if this was Rafael Fiziev before the Rufi knockout loss, before the Justin Gaethje losses, and even in those Justin Gaethje losses, in retrospect, he looked good. He looked good, but he still took a lot of damage. And I feel like it would have been a closer fight before he took all that damage in those fights if he faced Manuel Torres before that. But at this point, I just think they're meeting at 2 different points in their career, and I think Manuel Torres is going to go out there and put him away in his first main event. That's my prediction. At first I thought Rafael Fiziev was going to be an easy matchup for him, but the more and more I looked into it, the more and more I thought about it, my heart just feels like Manuel Torres only needs 1 shot. He's one of those fighters that needs 1 shot to finish the fight, and I don't think that Rafael Fiziev can be perfect for 25 minutes. Yeah, that's my prediction. That's what I'm taking. I hope you guys enjoyed my prediction video. Let me know who you guys got down below. Who you guys got, Rafael Fiziev or Manuel Torres? Which fight are you most excited for? Make sure you check out my latest video. Yeah, that one was a banger. But yeah, stay tuned for more videos to come. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.